if Wyoming would stop sending their money to Washington, D.C. and get the regulatory bureaucracies out of your state, you will be the richest state in the union, and you'll pave your roads with gold or oil. You don't need them. You don't need them. You don't want them. You are a sovereign state, and we don't need the EPA or OSHA or DEA or any of that. I'm so impressed with all the natural resources Wyoming has. Tourism and skiing and hiking and camping and fishing and hunting and natural gas and oil and holy smoke, coal and you don't hardly have any people here, you know. And I'll tell you what, you take control of all of that, man, I'm moving here. You're going to be so wealthy. The reason your states are down is because you are dependent on Washington, D.C., and you have sold your birthright for the pot of porridge of Washington, D.C. political correctness. But if you become and deserve that freedom, you're going to take back control of your natural resources. I'm going to show today proof positive. I'll tell every one of you, we're not facing the catastrophe we're facing today because we're following the Constitution too strictly. That's a joke. I believe in limited government. I totally believe in self-government. But we all believe in limited government, and self-government will create that. And if we follow the Constitution, we're going to be okay with that. But if we were following the Constitution, would we be in Iraq and Afghanistan? No. If we followed the Constitution, would we be enslaved with all this taxation? Of course not. And so, who can make sure we follow the Constitution? Well, of course, everybody in this room. But the most powerful part of our government is we the people. And the states are the ones who are to enforce the 9th and 10th Amendment. Do you think there's another bureaucracy in Washington, D.C. that's enforced state sovereignty division? Do you think Washington, D.C. is going to enforce state sovereignty? No. They're the ones destroying it. It was never intended that they would be the ones doing it. The Founding Fathers put it there, the last of the Bill of Rights, to remind Washington that the states are in charge and they've got the ultimate check and balance on you. For heaven's sakes, we formed the federal government. It's unlike any other government in the world. All of them went from the king on down to the people. We're the upside down pyramid. It's the people on top. And then the states, and at the very bottom, the president in Washington, D.C., corruption. And I'm telling you here, I have proof positive that you will see here that we can stop all of this. And that we, the states and the counties, and you, can make the corruption of Washington, D.C. irrelevant. You don't have to go along with any of it. Even to the extent when state legislatures and governors get it, even to the extent, I know this is pretty radical, but even to the extent that we would not send our sons and daughters into harm's way in unconstitutional wars. Don't say that. If you have 12, if you have 10 sheriffs in Wyoming who will stand fast against the incursions, overreach, and intervention of the federal government, you'll get your freedom back. If I promise you that I will follow the Constitution and somebody's violating your constitutional rights in my county, I have to defend you. And if the rest of the county says, we don't care if his rights are violated, we don't like him, he's dark complected, might be Muslim, you know, we don't care. Guess what the sheriff has to do? Has to side with him, because I'm under oath. I'm under sacred oath to protect his constitutional rights. And that's America. The federal sphere is very small, limited, and confined. They do not and are not ever allowed creativity. They can do those specific assignments. Do you know how many law enforcement authorities they have stolen outside, or that they have commandeered or usurped? About 5,000. And the Constitution allows them 4. 4. This is the order of the court. And start with me in yellow. The federal government may neither issue directives requiring the states to address particular problems. They can't even do that. They cannot issue directives to us, nor command the state's officers or those of their political subdivisions. So they can't commandeer your sheriff, they can't commandeer anybody in the city governments, the state governments, the county governments, or the school boards, to administer or enforce a federal regulatory program. Okay? Where do you think Obamacare is going to be enforced? In Washington, D.C.? Not hardly. It'll be in your counties and your states. And does your state have to go along with nationalized Obamacare? Not one iota. Not one even speck of it. It matters not whether policy making is involved, and no case-by-case weighing of the burdens or benefits is necessary. Such commands are fundamentally incompatible with our constitutional system of dual sovereignty. So it is ordered by the United States Supreme Court. Folks, have you seen some miracles up here on the screen in front of you today? And the bottom line is, your sheriff and your counties and your states are the ultimate check and balance. Last line in the sand is absolutely your county sheriff. He has got to know and understand this, that that's why his job is such a powerful and noble position. Can we really win this?
Yes.
It looks bleak sometimes, doesn't it? John Quincy Adams was asked that same question. Can we really win this? And he said this, and it applies to us more today than it ever has. Duty is ours, results are God's.